What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tell Me More podcast presented by Major League Success. And I have Nick Wulf with us from the Wulf Property Group at NextHome Experience. Nick, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to jump on here with us and, just kind of share your story of how you got into the business. And that's what this show is all about. So thank you. This is really
Thank you, Jon, for having me on. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, and this is going to be fun. This is really our first time really connecting ever. So, I'm going to learn about you, as we go through this. So I'm super excited.
No, definitely.
So, Nick, I always like to start with growing up. I always feel that there's experiences or there's things that happen from when we were younger, whether it was like a job that we experienced that taught us sales, or parents, or where we came from, or whatever the case may be, that somewhere along the lines leads us into our real estate career or has a big influence into our real estate career. So, starting younger, what was growing up like?
So to just give you insight regarding my childhood, so I grew up with I had a total of five brothers and sisters.
Oh, wow.
There was a lot of us. We lived in Galloway, so I'm very familiar with Galloway and Hilliard. But I lived out there my entire life. Really, just the growing up aspect is, we're just really just middle class family. Like I said, there was a lot of us, so I didn't always get what I wanted. But also, my dad was a hard worker. My mom was more the stay at home mom. My dad was out there. It was more, and I guess the best way to say it, I don't want to say maintenance because that's not the word, but he worked with a guy who owns a lot of properties here in
Okay.
Columbus, and he really did a lot of like hands-on activities with him. So I was able to really go explore a lot of the projects he was doing, and really just kind of. I actually at first didn't even anticipate on ever wanting to be a realtor. It was just more just learning from that, and then kind of jumping and starting everything once I learned from him. So
Okay. So then, were you, I guess, through high school, things like that, did you just kind of do that? Was that kind of like your job, or did you do something else at first, or?
well, during high school, so I didn't really do much like in real estate. Like I went to school. I mean, my first job was Wendy's. So I worked at Wendy's when I got out of school, and really just did that for a couple years. And I mean, the whole aspect of real estate, if we're jumping into the real estate aspect of everything, is I was a flight attendant.
Oh, wow.
I was a flight attendant and I loved my job, but the job did not pay as much as I wanted.
Yeah.
Love the benefits and everything, but what really got me into real estate was a lot of my friends were flight attendants and realtors.
Interesting. Okay. So did you, after high school, did you go to college or just right into the workforce?
So I actually did. So I ended up going to Sinclair. So I have my associates in real estate.
Okay.
And that was kind of the start in regards to getting everything situated with real estate.
Okay.
I really went to school for real estate, didn't want to do much with it at first. Then I got hired as a flight attendant, and then I started flying, and that's when I put two and two together. That
So, so you kind of, I guess, did you kind of know real estate was going to be the angle, or, I mean, obviously you had some experience in
it
not
was
sales, but
Yeah, I really didn't have much of a sales background. I was not a salesperson when I got
yeah, yeah.
into real estate. I always had jobs where, maybe like I had to like I worked for Airbnb. So maybe had to work with people, but I was never trying to sell them into something.
Yeah.
Then, as a flight attendant, it was the same thing. I was there to help people. I wasn't there to sell them into anything they were flying.
Right.
What really got me into the real estate aspect was, like I said, I had a lot of friends who were realtors. And I knew I wanted to do something besides being a flight attendant. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. But I did have that essential real estate background. So then I decided to just go get my license and then see how it goes. And I didn't want to quit flying, but I also wanted to be able to have a lifestyle that I could afford. So it was kind of a mix of both. And then my ultimate goal in getting my real estate license is really just to sell to friends,
Yeah.
and sell the coworkers. I was like selling the pilots and flight attendants. And then really just after that, it was more got into real estate. My first year, I did 8 houses, and I've been good ever. I've been way more ever since. So
How long were you a flight attendant for?
3.5 years.
Okay. So, during that time, you just kind of figured out what drew you to being a flight attendant? Just going, traveling, all of that, or?
I get this question asked a lot. So it's a funny story how I became a flight attendant. So I was working for Airbnb.
Yeah.
So I like managed case manager. So when you like call on the Airbnb, you get assigned to somebody. But I was their boss. So I listened to calls and I did all that all the time. But I also was managing a few of my Airbnbs on the side.
Okay.
One day I get a call from this group of girls who they just graduated flight attendant training, was asking me about renting my place because they all just got based in Columbus. And I was like, we worked something out. I thought it was great. I was like, let's do it. You guys can rent my house for the first month. And then they were all trying to get based somewhere else, but they had to come to Columbus. But anyways, I went to go meet them to let them in. And within 10 minutes of talking to them, they're like, you would make such a great flight attendant. It's like, oh, okay. Like my work. So they sent me a link to apply. And within 3 days, I got the job.
Oh, there you go. That's
So,
awesome.
and then it was like one of those things. And when I got hired, I was just like, well, let me just try it out. It might not be something I like. And then I really loved it. So
That's
the
awesome.
travel benefits, being able to fly to different destinations, not always being here, just really being able to explore at such a young age. A
Yeah.
lot of people can't just say, "Hey, I want to go. I don't know. I want to go to Aruba tomorrow," and just be able to hop on a flight and not you're on flight benefits, so you're paying nothing to fly anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's a good experience. It really was, but
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean,
was my ultimate stepping point. So.
yeah, I'm sure it taught you a ton of skills too, communication, service, customer service, all of those things.
Yep. I mean, it really did. And then, like I said, I had a lot of friends who were flight attendants and realtors, surprisingly. And
How Yeah, how did you navigate that? Um,
so, so it was a situation to where, I started flying in 2000 and it was 2017. And so I flew nonstop. It was my full time job. The first year I did it. And then after the first year, like I loved the job. I did have I was managing Airbnb, so I did have a side situation going on. But I ultimately just really started networking with a few realtors, and they threw the idea of why don't you just pursue your license? You already have a real estate background. Why don't you just get your real estate license? So I went ahead, got my real estate license in 2018. And then after I got my real estate license in 2018, that's when I more so just jumped into things. I was only selling to friends. I had like a family member who wanted to sell a house, and then I had a just word of mouth with pilots. Like I would tell pilots I'm a realtor, and they would be like, "Oh, you're a realtor. I'm looking to buy." So then I would start networking that way, and just really just jumped into the real estate part of everything. So.
that's awesome. I guess is the majority of pilots that I guess I don't know how all that works. So
So
how
pilots are based in Columbus. So
Okay.
I worked for an airline called Republic. So it wasn't like a major airline, it was a regional airline, but one of their main hubs is here in Columbus.
Okay.
So a lot of these pilots who, or even just flight attendants in general, just anyone, a lot of people are based here.
Okay.
So when they're thinking about being based here, they're paying rent, but it's also, maybe I should buy something.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of came in and was able to work with them because we already had good connections, like working relationship. I would really just navigate them on if buying a house was good for them or not. And
Nice.
that's where I got a lot of my business when I first started as an agent. Was probably my first year. I sold to 5 pilots.
Wow. Nice.
So,
Now did just because I'm curious, I mean, when you get into the business, right, everyone's like, "Oh, tap into your sphere, tap into your database," right? Like, and at that time, do pilots and flight attendants, do you guys know each other from different airlines as well? Like, is there is there like cross selling there going on? You know what I mean? Or is it just
There is, it just like a lot of like the pilots I worked with, it was more like I sold the one a house and then he told another pilot like, oh, well, maybe I haven't flown with him, but he told another pilot that I worked with him, but I was also a flight attendant, so then I would connect with them, and then it was just more word of mouth at first.
that's what you
Um,
want?
and I would tap into my sphere of influence. I would go through, I would network with friends, really just use every source I had as a new agent to generate business.
Yeah.
And, I also was a little fortunate because when I first became an agent, I was with Coldwell Banker.
Yeah.
So a lot of what even just a few of my beginning clients came from like those opportunity calls. So
Yep.
like stuff like that, it's word of mouth, and just working my influence, which got me a good start.
Yep.
So
So I always ask when getting into the business, did you have a lot of supporters, more doubters? Like, everyone's always mixed, right? In between. And I'm always curious of, what really fueled you to keep going. Was it the people that, cheered you up, or was it kind of like that fuel of like, oh, I got to prove them wrong? Did you kind of have a lot more supporters or doubters?
I so my situation was a little bit different, because I felt like there was a lot of support, but there was always people that doubted me. It wasn't the fact that they didn't think I was going to do well. It was just more that because of my background and where I came from. And like with me flying and like also me being younger, because that also played a role in it too. They just thought I was unexperienced. I felt like a lot of people would put me down and say I wasn't going to be a good realtor.
Yeah.
And it was one of those situations to where every year I did better and better. I mean, I'm on my fifth year of real estate now, and I'm doing some really good numbers. So it's just more about just how I really turned those people who would be negative and down to really more just proving them wrong.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
How did I was young when I got into the business as well. I was 22 years old. How did you overcome for the younger realtors that are out there getting into the business? How did you overcome that objection, or that doubt? Oh, you're too young. Do you really know how to sell real estate?
Confident, being confident, essentially, even because like when people meet me, and a lot of my clients are like this. When they meet me, they don't know I'm 28. They always think I'm older because I sound confident when I say. If I don't know the right answer, I will find the right answer. I don't sound shy and timid. I go directly to the point. If this is what you want, this is what we need to do. This is our offer strategy. And my client's mindset changes. They're not thinking of how old I am. They're like, wow, he truly understands what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, but when I first became an agent, I was shy and timid. So I was shy. I was scared that I would say the wrong thing and then it would mess up everything. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't also have a lot of support as a newer agent. So I feel like I was kind of like stuck, like figuring things out when I first started. So,
Yeah.
everyone messes up. I messed up as an agent. I probably lost a few clients because of me not being as experienced, but ultimately you can grow from those mistakes.
Oh, for sure. My team lead, my mentor, I've been with him since day one of my career, and he's good with building relationships and rapport, and he can talk in and out of a conversation, right? And I was like just trying to mimic that, and
Yeah.
I'm not that person. So I learned the hard way after a couple of times where I had to be like, oh, hey, remember I just told you this? Actually, it's the complete opposite. So, and then I started just to look bad, right? So then I just got to the point of like, look, I'm just going to tell you if I don't know. I am new to real estate, or I'm newer to real estate, but if I don't know, I'm just going to tell you. And I found with that, 99% of my clients respected that, right? Hey, I'm glad that you were honest with me. You didn't try to BS your way through, that situation or whatever the case may be, that conversation. And you just told me, hey, you don't know, and you'll figure it out and find out.
And that's really true because when I first became a new agent, I would think that I needed to know all the answers.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what I was doing. I was all like, just wanted to sound like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And there comes a time where, sometimes you just don't know, and a client's going to respect you if you say, hey, I don't know what the answer is right now, but I am going to go out of my way. I will find you the exact answer and I will get back to you as soon as possible. They will respect that way more. Even as a newer agent, like I was so excited for my first deal. Like I sold land. This is my first deal. Is
That's
I
your first deal?
land, and I got a call from this guy. He wanted to go look at some land in Grove City. Ended up he wanted to ride on it. I was so excited. I was like, I'm getting my first deal. It's been on the market for a while. I was like, this is great. And well, the moral of the story is that like I used a residential purchase contract and didn't use a land contract to start. So then I had to like go back in and explain all this. I had to have him sign it twice and like give me a lot of pushback. But then, and especially like selling land as your first transaction is not like the easiest thing. So, but I grew from it because, there's a lot of things I didn't know, especially during that first transaction. And I had to really find out and learn what I needed to know to sell this land. Now I can sell land
Yeah.
anywhere. And that's not hard. But
Yeah.
that first transaction, and that was my first transaction, was the fact that I didn't even sell a house. I sold land and then I ended up selling houses after. But there was a lot of twists and turns. I messed up. I wasn't confident in what I did. I did mess up during that entire transaction. But I told my clients I was brand new,
Yeah.
and this is my first time doing this, and they respected it. And then they gave me a little backlash on a couple things, but they still respected me. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's like, welcome to residential real estate. I'm going to sell land.
hey, you got to get the job done. So
Right. That's right. So you've been licensed for 5 years now. Dive into kind of like in the beginning. I know you focused on, you're doing flight attendant. You're focusing on, working that part of your sphere. You're working on your own sphere. Did you have any initial struggles, or did you really come out of the gates, kind of getting some momentum going in your business to kind of get it where it is today?
so at first like I said, I really worked my connections when I first got my license. My first year, I sold 8 houses, which is more than most agents would sell their first year.
Yeah.
So I didn't really going into that. So I feel really what happened with me is after I sold the 8 houses, then I went back to square one. It's like, oh, I have to now do all this lead generation, start follow up processes, going really above and beyond and put myself out there to generate new business. So my second year in real estate, I did join a team. So I was on a team for 2 years, roughly 2 years.
Okay.
Really what made me transition from flight attendant, well, being on a team, because I wanted to keep my flight attendant job. I had a team now to support me, but
Right.
my team did a lot of like a lot of lead generation. So it was like more like the Zillow.
Yep.
You had your just a lot of different branches of leads coming in. So there's a lot of business opportunity there.
Yep.
And then that's when really the like people started noticing I'm doing really good in real estate, so that's where referrals start coming in. But really, what made me transition and just wanting to do better was I feel like I was a flight attendant, and then COVID hit. So then they let me go for 6 months, and I didn't want to move to New York City because after the 6 month period, they wanted me to be based in New York. It just wasn't going to happen. So I had to make a decision to quit. So I think that 2020 was a stepping stone for me because in 2021, I finished 2020 on my previous team, but 2021, I decided to join my own team
Yeah.
or start my own team because it wasn't anything that, based on my last team, but it was the fact that my numbers and my production were way higher than what, I felt like I came to a point where I was growing out of my team.
Sure. Sure.
So, but that's when I started my team last year, and we're over a year in now, and we're doing really good. So,
No, that's awesome. Now, when you went to your first year to joining a team, were you looking specifically for a situation that provided the leads? Because some agents, I talk to that get into the business, they're like, hey, I just want to build it through my sphere of influence. Me, like the only thing I know from day one is internet leads, right? Like when I got started in 2011, end of 2011, early 2012 is when we really started doing internet leads. So that's the only thing I know. So
Yeah.
I guess, did you know that was kind of what your business was missing at the time, and you kind of looked for that opportunity, or did it kind of just fall into your lap?
It's it fell more into my lap because when you first become an agent, and I feel like this is just what they teach you is you work your sphere of influence. Do not rely on internet leads. Don't rely. You can market yourself, but don't put of course a lot of money into marketing. You're a brand new agent, so I
Right.
found that income come in and then start marketing yourself and doing a different approach. So after my first year, I felt like I was in a situation to where, I was also flying, so I couldn't always be here, but I also wanted that support. And that was one thing that was lacking. My first year, I pretty much had to learn everything based on me learning.
Yeah.
There was a lot of support there. So when I got the opportunity to join a team, I felt in my situation, it was going to work and benefit just growing a lot because I wanted to grow as an agent. I also, I heard like I knew of Zillow and I knew of like, being a Redfin agent. I knew of all this, but
Right.
I just didn't want to put that much money out there to be able to get the amount of leads that I was getting.
Yeah.
So when I joined my team, I felt like a lot of things. It was an easy way to build business fast
Yeah.
with the internet leads. So when I joined the team, did a lot of Zillow. So, I mean, probably within my first 2 months on Zillow, I closed 12 transactions
Yeah.
based on Zillow calls.
Yeah.
And then that's when, what's great about those is, you may sell them into a house and then a couple years down the line is when they will want to buy or get something bigger. But I
Yeah.
started building my client portfolio up. And
Yep.
so it was good. It was a good transition. I went from I think my second year I sold, it was like 30,
Okay.
a little over 30, and then
Yeah.
no, and then last year I sold 44 houses, and then oh no, last year I don't know, I just
Yeah, you said something that I talk to agents about all the time with leads. Some people just absolutely hate them, and I get it. Look, I'm here to tell, and part of this conversation and why I like to bring on, real estate agents that are top performing people is because there's so many different ways to build your business. There's not one way that is the end all be all. I don't believe that to be true. But what I do believe is, like, if you dive into internet leads correctly and you do it correctly, you can build your business faster. And it's not just that one deal. Like you said, you built your client database. Every closing that you get from, different lead sources becomes a past client. And then if you turn them into raving fans, like you did with that first pilot, right? That first pilot then goes and markets for you and says your name to all of their friends, family, coworkers, and so forth. And that's the whole idea with internet leads is, sweet, I can get a past client now, and that past client may have two or three, four people for me over the course of a lifetime or whatever, or they may be doing two, three, four deals, through me if I do my job the right way. So, and I wanted to touch base on the COVID part because, that's a time in all of our lives where for some of us, it became a pivot point. We had an agent on our team who same type of thing, was her second year into the real estate business, but she was working another job, ended up getting laid off. And, that was the best opportunity for her that could have happened. It sucked at the time because there's a lot of question marks, and I'm sure that was for you too. But, that kind of forced you to kind of take that step into full-time real estate.
I was essentially more transitioning into full-time real estate. I feel like prior to COVID,
Okay.
like end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I was already part-time as a flight attendant. I was doing more real estate full-time, but the biggest thing for me in that situation was the reason I didn't want to let go of my flight attendant job is I just liked having that extra
Perks.
push. It
Yeah.
was more like a push. Like I gotta look forward to something. Like I'm gonna go on a trip for a couple of days. Like it's nice. I'm getting away. I feel COVID just really more so, I feel like it helped me in a sense.
Yeah.
It really helped me in my profession in real estate because I was able to realize that I just needed to let go of it and I needed to be just full force 100% into real estate to make the business that I want.
Yeah.
And so it was more of a turning point for me. And then, 2020, I was licensed in 2018, but 2020 was one of my, like 2020, 2021, and then this year has been my best years in real estate.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was more of a pushing stone for me to just go out there. I did a lot of internet leads. People were still buying. Interest rates were very low. Inventory did drop tremendously in 2020, but I feel like there was still a really good market for buyers.
Yeah.
And at the end of 2020, had my best year to date. It was, and then obviously I've grown from there.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of what I did was, we touched bases on Zillow and online leads. I'm a very big believer in those. I mean, my team does a lot of online leads, but those online leads, you may sell them a house, but a couple years down the line, they're gonna remember you.
Yeah.
And actually, I just had a Zillow girl, one of my past Zillow clients I sold a house to in 2020, just call me, hey, daughter moved out. Can you come list a house tomorrow?
Sure.
And it's all like, but they still know who you are. They
Yeah.
still, you still put that, you still did such a good experience that first time. So now you're going to have multiple transactions for someone. And then they also give you referrals. So
No, I'm right there with you on that stuff. And so moving into 2021, you decided to kind of go and do your own team, right? Build your own team.
yeah, so really to give you some insight regarding my decision to start my own team was I had a tremendous amount of personal referral. I was doing some team stuff, but a lot of my business that I was closing, especially in 2021, it was personal. It was mainly referral based,
Sure.
and it was my past friend. It was just everyone. It was past clients giving me referrals, but mainly referral based. And there came a time where I just wanted to, I was a little scared to leave my team because I felt like I was doing so well, but I also knew that there was an opportunity for me to grow as an individual, but also as an agent, and then also as a team.
Yeah.
And I really, what got me to start my own team is one of my past clients. I sold a house, or she was a past client at the time. They sold her house, and she's actually an agent currently on my team. So I had went to her, and I knew she just got into real estate, and she said, I would love to learn from you. Like you helped me through my buying process. You know what you're doing. I would like to grow from that. And it was more of my push to just leave what I'm doing. I had a little break and then just start my own team. And then from the time I started my team in, so probably started beginning of May last year. From the beginning of May until the end of the year, we sold 61 houses, I believe.
Wow.
So,
Wow. And how big's your team now?
so my team, so there is a total of 5 agents plus me. So
Oh,
six
that's
plus
awesome.
total.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And have you focused on kind of the newer agent and helping them get their business up and running, or has it kind of been a mix?
It's been a mix. I love the training aspect. I really do like meeting new agents, helping them, guiding them in the right direction. And I really feel like my team. Actually to really just to jump into it, half my agents were brand new agents.
Yeah.
The others were experienced or came from a different team, but the other half, I really had to do a lot of training to get them where they are today.
Yeah.
So I do focus on newer agents. I focus on, even the experienced agent. There's things that they don't know that maybe you're not doing in a contract because you're so accustomed to something else. I really focus my training on what I currently have on my team. I just expanded to one agent or added another agent a couple months ago, and I'm good with the six. we're we're a growing group, but I'm really just now been focusing on how we can grow as a team. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I found over the 11 years of being in the business and helping our team grow that I love helping agents become successful in this business and hit their goals of what they want to accomplish because the lifestyle that I've been able to live because of this business, and mainly because of my mentor. Like I tell people all the time, I got lucky. Like I've been with one person for 11 years, and he took me under his wing when I was 22 years old and showed me the ropes of selling foreclosures and short sales and working with investors and all of that stuff. So that's, for me, one of my big missions is to change the failure rate of our industry.
Yeah.
And the only way I think we do that is by people like yourselves of just saying, hey, I like helping other agents become successful. Here's how we do it.
And I agree with you because, this is like one of my biggest pet peeves, is when I get a call from, let's just say, like I have a listing. I get a call from a buyer's agent. Actually, I just had this situation happen a couple weeks ago, but the girl calls me. She's just like unsure about a couple things. And then I just sat on the phone and just explained it to her. And she said, that's when she opened up to me. I just got my license 3 weeks ago. And I just want to make sure I'm doing this right because this is my first offer.
Yeah.
And she was all like, I want to thank you. And I said, thank me for what? And she said, I want to thank you for really just taking the time to explain it to me. Because I had wrote, she just started working with this one client, but she's like, I tried to write an offer last week on a listing and I asked an agent a question and she said, quote unquote, oh, well, you just talk to your broker about that and just submit your highest and best. And she hung up. I mean, just like if you just took the moment to really explain it to someone, even if it's not their highest or best or strongest offer, you
Right.
took the moment to explain it to someone. And that's how I really got, and when you go back into growing, one of the agents on my team, the reason why she joined my team was the fact that I was in Mexico. I wasn't here. I was on vacation. I'm in Mexico. It was the past client of mine and actually her name's Martina. So, Martina, same situation. I was trying to write an offer, brand new agent. I'm in Mexico. I'm somewhere zip lining. I don't even like. I'm not anywhere. Like I'm somewhere high in the mountains, but I have some reception. But I picked up because I seen it was her calling, and she says, "I'm just trying to write an offer. My broker won't answer the phone." And she said, "I just don't know what to do." I explained everything to her. She wrote the offer. It was great. And then I asked her next week to come meet with me, and then that's when she joined my team.
Yeah. No, that's
So I
awesome.
had a moment to really just explain it to her, and no, she didn't get the house, but she learned from it, and now she knows what's right. So
Yeah. Just curious, Nick, do you think that's because we think that way because we came from a team early on in our career and we had that support?
I think so.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think so.
always curious, because obviously some people get into the business because I tell agents this all the time. People get into this business to get away from being told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And the most successful agents, team leads, whatever you want to call it, every day tell themselves what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Or they have someone to help them, right? To keep them on track, to keep them focused on what they need to focus to grow their business. I just was curious. I don't know if I've ever asked that question to anyone else on here as far as, do you think that mindset of helping other agents be successful is because, you came from a team or are a team lead and that's just, how we're wired, or, as a solo agent. I know there's solo agents out there that love helping other agents as well, but I was just curious.
I think it was just more, one reason why I try to really, go above and beyond when I can to help an agent, especially a newer agent, is I didn't personally have that.
Yeah.
When I was a new agent, I was not on a team. I was really just starting to learn everything. I did have my broker to call and support, but when it's 9 o'clock at night and it's 9 o'clock at night, you're trying to write an offer, your broker's probably not gonna pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It just depends. But I will tell you this. I had to learn myself a lot of things and a lot of calling agents. I think that was my biggest thing too. Is luckily I had a good group of friends who are agents. I was able to pick some minds on what I should write. And I did have a good support system overall. And a lot of agents don't have that, especially right now. you think, especially with you being a new agent, you're kind of jumping into something that, obviously we've seen some change.
Right.
So right now, if you can really be any support, it would be probably the time where there's a lot of change going on.
Yep.
So
Yep. Just navigating, whether it's a changing market or, just how to do business, right? There's
yeah,
other ways to go out and generate the business. So I want to kind of move into the future. You got a team of six, and you're looking to kind of build, each other up. What's something that you're looking to accomplish in the next 12 months, whether it's you personally as an agent or as a team? Any 1 year goals?
I would say, as a team, my ultimate 1 year goal is to really keep expanding what I've grown as a team. We've had tremendous success, just based on just how we really do business. And I feel like I've been able to grow and learn so much from a lot of my influences. And what I've been really teaching my team is to really, we set goals with each other. I go through, I want to help everyone grow. And so the more busy we get and the more business we're doing, I feel in the next 12 months is going to be the opportunity just to continue to I'm not going to say expand, but it's continue to grow with what we have
Sure.
and just make a stronger business. That's, more just following our goals, more training, other things that I've really just been touching on is like mentoring. So learning from people who are doing good, because those are people who can build you in your business as well, and they're here to support you.
Yeah.
Um, I've been trying to teach my team, like, let's just really go above and beyond. I mean, when it comes to setting goals, times to call people. We have an entire database. We should all be calling with each other, going through your past clients. Like, I try to help everyone on my team build bigger goals because I want everyone to succeed and grow. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And the fact that they can lean on each other and then, see that the social proof of what you're talking about is working.
yeah,
Like that's, our team, no one can come on here and say no one can come to you and say internet leads don't work. Right. So, you
no,
know,
and it's the one thing about internet leads, and this is just coming from a team lead aspect now, because now that I've had to, I have budget for everything, but like, it's all about conversion.
yep.
And the biggest thing is, they do work. They do get you in front of the customer. They do essentially, as long as you don't mess up the appointment, like, I mean, more likely they're going to work with you. Like,
Yeah.
it's very slim to none. I just know with my conversion, I can go in front of a brand new Zillow lead and they're going to work with me moving forward.
It's not even just Zillow, right? It's
Zillow, it's I personally, as a team wise, we do Zillow. I'm a Redfin Premier partner. We have a database that collects internet generated leads on a
yep.
daily basis. We get about 300 to 400 leads a month
Yep.
just through our CRM. Facebook ads. I have a listing. I have a listing ad portal. So listing ads are continuing to run on like different pages, and then that draws in listing leads. So there's a lot of influence, but it's just more in the sense of, really building your team to know how to handle these leads, and then also to, it's all about conversion. The more conversion we get, the bigger marketing budget we can have. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was just talking to another agent this morning who's trying a new, like a seller platform. And, I said, what's cool about that is in any leads in general is once you get their name, phone number, and email, that's a lead for life. They may not use you this year. Maybe you dropped the ball or one slipped through the cracks, right? But guess what? That may be a seller lead in 4 years. That may be, so
that is true.
you just never know. And I tell agents that if this is a career for you, it's okay if that person, doesn't buy today and they buy next year. You're still going to be a real estate agent next
If
year.
if I can give any agent advice, and this is just coming from me, but some of my good success, especially with listings that I've been getting just from past clients, but also anytime I get a name, email, address, phone number, I have a system called Home Buy, and I would encourage you to get a lender partner They have to sponsor you on it, but it's a system that you put all that information in, and you can put all that information into the system. Then this client is getting monthly emails from HomeBuy, letting them know how much their home's worth, how much equity is built, how much have they built. What if they were to sell today? And it does an entire breakdown of what you would expect to walk away from. It even does Airbnb projections. If you were to list your house on Airbnb, this is what on average you could make. But the reason why I love this program so much is because I get a lot of questions from it. Should I sell now? Oh, wow, my home went up this much in value. Can I get a CMA? Hey, Nick, thank you for the update. Would you mind coming to walk through? And even though that lead maybe didn't respond right then, chances are they're getting that email, they're reading it. And then, of course, sending postcards out and such. But, as long as you're doing your follow up, and even you're not even have to do most of the follow up, letting your systems do the follow up. Yeah, that's a really good program. So if I can encourage anyone, and that last year got me 6 listings.
Wow.
And I've only used it for about a year, and all my past clients are in it though, and they all love the updates too.
Home BU.
It's called HomeBuy. It's called HomeBuy. I was all like, if you have questions on it, you can text me. But yeah, it's a HomeBuy, and it's a very great system. A lot of the top agents are using it, and I learned it from one of my mastermind classes through my listing referral source. I do a Wednesday mastermind thing where we learn how to just bounce ideas off each other, and that was something that was brought up. I learned from it, and it's a great system.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. What's something that you're looking to accomplish, Nick, in the next 5 years? Any big goals?
So big goal wise, so hold on one second. My office has one of these. They have one of these lights that if there's no motion, it will just the light
It just turns off.
Yeah. So 5-year goal. So really for me is to continue to really grow my team. I am also looking to grow into other aspects of real estate, not just buying and selling. I've been in regards to just getting things together to buy investments. I've been in investment partners. I have a few investment partners now on some of the rehabs that I do. So I've been getting into more buying and selling and flipping and holding on to properties as well. Really just exploring other avenues of having that income coming in as well. I love buying and selling. That's my top priority, but just having like rental income, and then also being able to flip a house is something that I've always been intrigued on. I personally work with a decent amount of investors as well. So it's been great for me to really learn the ropes from them. So I've got the opportunity to try and invest in a few of my first flips myself. So it's been good. So I just want to continue to grow off that business and see where things go.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I always end with this last question, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and your time with us today. But if you could give our audience one piece of advice that you wish you had, whether it's starting out new to the business, starting your team, whatever it is, what would that be?
I think the best advice that I can really give anyone is don't give up. And when I say don't give up, it's more the fact that I feel like, especially recently, it's all like, there's your up moments and there's your down moments in real estate. You're going to have those moments where you go above and beyond, but there's going to be moments when it comes down. And I feel like a lot of agents get discouraged when they have the moments that come down. We've been dealing with some stuff on our team today where it's just like, it's crazy, but it's the part of real estate. You've got to learn how to really just keep yourself motivated and elevated and bounce back from every obstacle. So just don't give up. And especially like right now, like the last couple of months, it's all like, there has been a bit of a shift in the market, but the market is still growing. The market is strong. People are still selling. They are relocating. People are still buying regardless of interest rates going up. And people are still building too. Like I've actually grown somewhat of a business from selling new builds.
Yeah.
So you always find different avenues of how you can approach certain things, but the market's still hot, the market's still strong, and you just got to continue to not be discouraged, and just really just motivate yourself to do better. So
I love that. Motivated and elevated.
motivated and elevated. I say it all the time.
I like that. I like that. And for me, it's always like, I believe in three things. I believe everyone should have a coach. I believe everyone should be a peer, for that same thing, right? If you have a peer that's going through the same stuff that you're going through, and we all go through this, we all go through it, right? Like there's not one real estate agent that doesn't go through a crap time,
Yeah.
But if you have a peer, within the business that's there for the highs and will help you get through the lows, that's super important. And I believe that everyone can coach someone to get to where they're currently at. Even if you're brand new to this business and you got licensed yesterday, guess what? You can help someone get licensed tomorrow. If you sold one house, you can help someone sell one house, right? So
if there's anything you can do to help, just really just hang around those people who are going to support you, and just be around those people who want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
I feel like, those are the people that you should spend a lot of your time around, but those are the people that are going to be there for you and push you to do your best. So it's all about, not getting discouraged and just really just going above and beyond, whether you're a new agent or you've been in the business for 30 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ropes and things happen for a reason. So, you just got to continue to push yourself.
No, I love it. Nick, thanks so much for coming on. Those that are watching here on YouTube, his phone number is at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to reach out to him if you're a real estate agent and you want to pick his brain on building a team, leads, investments, whatever it may be. Shoot him a text or give him a call if you're here in Columbus looking to buy or sell. He's your guy as well. Nick, for those listening, on a podcast somewhere, what's the best way for them to, what's your phone number? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so the best way to contact me is you can either call or text me, 614-483-2044. You can also follow me on Instagram, either my personal page, and then Wulf, WULF 94, or Wulf Property Group. And then also you can follow me on Facebook as well.
Awesome.
It's Nick Wulf on Facebook. So, you have many avenues to follow me, really get in contact with me. So if you have any questions, just let me know.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it. And if I can ever do anything for you, your team, your agents, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Of course, John. And like I said, I really appreciate you having me on today.
Thank you. Thank you.